Andy, thanks a lot for coming to talk to us. Obviously not the result you were looking for. What were your thoughts on the game?
Gave it 2 halves for us. Thought it was a real close contest. 2 evenly matched teams in that first half. We didn't convert a couple of chances that were created, made a couple of line breaks, but weren't able to find the right pass or come up with the right option on the back of those line breaks, and that proved obviously costly once again. Spoke at half time about tidying up our last tackle plays and spoke about playing with a little bit more control once we got into good ball field position. But at the start of the second half, I think it was George Griffin dropped the first ball, and that just set the tone for the whole half. I thought in that second half, Leigh dominated us physically. We played 2-1 out because we'd made a couple of errors. You worry about passing the ball, so you go 1 out, and that just allows them to really tee off on you. And they teed off on us and dominated us physically and dominated field position. Was kicking the ball from inside our own 30 and 40 on numerous occasions, and I can't recall us having one play the ball in good ball field position. So it was a really disappointing second half.
It was fast and furious and frantic in that first half. You must have been going in at half time thinking you were well in the game.
Yeah, definitely, and the scoreboard was 6 apiece. But like I say, we're just not dealing with the questions that teams are asking of us when they put us under pressure. And in that second half, they applied some pressure. I thought their key players really stepped up and made a big difference for us. I thought Tom O'Mahony was very good for him, and Asiata and Lockland, come up with some significant plays. And that proved the difference between the 2 teams. We've got to lick our own, so it's a very dejected dressing room, as you could imagine. But we've got to get them off the canvas, review it, speak with some home truths, and make sure that we learn from what happened tonight and try and make some improvements before we play Catalan on Friday.
Yeah, in the build-up to the game, you talked about their left edge. Lamb seemed to be quite an influence on the game, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a good player. Obviously, he's got good experience from the NRL. He's got that ability to kick and he takes ball to Lamb. He's a threat. But that second half, he was allowed to play how he wanted to. He was allowed to dictate because of the amount of defending that they made us do. Their shot kicking game was good, and like I say, we didn't deal with the pressure well enough, and that's something that we need to learn, and we need to learn it quickly.
You mentioned Asiata as well. How did you feel as though you dealt with the threat that he posed tonight?
Yeah, we did okay. We got some inside pressure on him on a couple of occasions, but we just weren't able to do it enough. And that's because they robbed us of energy. We robbed ourselves of energy, so that's the thing which is most disappointing. We're just not coming up with enough smart plays at the right times during the course of the game. So yeah, that's a big area for us to work on.
4 tries without reply in that second half. You must have been disappointed that you didn't get forward and find a way to pose a threat going forward yourselves, despite their pressure.
Yeah, that's a big thing. The fact that we're kicking it from our own fortune all the time, and they ended up just being fairly meaningless kicks, just midfield bombs and hitting them in hope that Gaz was going to come up with an error. It's disappointing, and like you say, that they was able to pick us apart because our energy levels were depleted. So there's some big lessons to learn, and we need to learn them quickly.
Elliot Wallace on debut tonight. How do you think he went?
Yeah, Elliot did okay. Made a couple of errors in the play of the ball, which is something that I need to learn from. You can't afford those unforced errors when you're coming out of your own end. I thought he carried the ball with some vigour. Positionally he did okay, and he made 1 or 2, telling defensive reads for us. So he's a work in progress. He'll have enjoyed the fact that he's got his first appearance for Casper Tigers under his belt, albeit it was a disappointing result for us.
Thanks, Andy.
No worries.
A shout out to Adam Milner as well, making his 300th appearance. Not the result, obviously, you would have wanted for him, but I mean the games he's played for this club, he's quite the credit, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a credit to obviously his family, and he's a credit to himself. The way that he turns up and performs, on a weekly basis. He puts obviously blood, sweat and tears into that cast shirt. But unfortunately, tonight, we was, some way off a performance which, would have been worthy of obviously Adam making his 300th game. And that's most disappointing thing, you know, it's his 300th game. It was Jacob Miller's 250th career appearance, and it was Elliot Wallace's first appearance, you know, at first team level for Cass. And you know, those milestone matches, you want to showcase the best version of yourselves and showcase the best version of Castleford, and we did do that tonight.
Any bumps and bruises for tonight? Any knocks?
I'm not sure. I haven't been in the changing room. I just obviously briefed the players, and you know, I haven't spoken with the staff, so we'll assess them in the morning. Recovery and review tomorrow. Straight back on the horse in terms of, you know, getting back to work and, you know, try and put some things right, ready for Catalan.
Anyone back for Catalan game?
Mahefino possibly back. Greg won't be, and then you know, a couple of guys who weren't selected this week, like Batagi and Watts, you know, they're come into consideration.